Guilty conscience. You know, I constantly have a guilty conscience, but it's a weird thing. It's like a psychological trick, because I always feel like I'm going to fail, and that actually helps to drive me to succeed. So, for example, I got a show in Oklahoma. It's a really big comedy show, and I think there's going to be like 500 people there. And I'm so paranoid that I'm going to mess up, right? There's that guilty conscience right there that I continuously rehearse, and I'm always prepared, whether it's for comedy or wrestling, jiujitsu. It's my method of preparation, but the aspect of failing is so strong to me, and not wanting that to happen, I constantly like over prepare, which just makes me succeed. I don't believe there's a thing of over preparing. I really don't. When I can actually not think about something and be able to do it essentially subconsciously, right? Then that means I really got that skill set. You don't really think about walking when you walk. You don't think about talking when you talk. Sometimes you do. If it's more in depth, you're trying to get like a certain objective, a goal, or something like that. You're plotting, you're planning. I'm not actually saying anything bad, but I mean, you're trying to structure a sentence in a certain way. And I got to do that all the time in comedy. I constantly have to structure and figure out a way to not just get my point across, but I need everybody to be agreeing with me, almost always, right? But anyway, as far as the whole guilty conscience thing goes, I know that if something bad happens, it's my fault, and I take full responsibility for it. But that potential of that happening, I work so hard so there is no potential, right? I get myself so psyched up, psyched out, however you want to call it, that I become obsessed. I become obsessed with success, and my lure to not to succeed is how I refuse to fail. So I keep telling myself, like, hey man, you got to do better, you got to do better. And I feel like that's the only way to really develop a championship mindset. I feel like the only individuals that are going to get that A+ on a test, I don't see, this is me personally, how psychologically you could feel like you're prepared enough to not, if you have more time to prepare, if you're that obsessed about being successful, about getting an A+ on the test, why you don't just study one more time? Why you just don't do this one more time, or that one more time, or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So people in general might think it's like an unhealthy thing to do. I think it may depend on the individual, because for me it works. And I also know while doing this that I believe in my success, that I'm going to succeed, that I'm going to accomplish my goal. But it's that out in the distant future, or not so distant future, right, of failing, that I'm so paranoid about that happening, when it's something that I'm passionate about and I refuse to do it. I cannot over prepare. And thankfully for me, the things that I do these things for, I'm passionate about it. So thankfully, again, I love the preparation process. I feel like if you truly love something, it really does come full circle between the preparation process and the execution process, whether it's a test or something like that. If you're studying for a test about one thing, okay, and you don't love it, but you're studying for a test about biology or whatever it is, and you love biology, you're going to do more reps of that. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Even if it's something you don't like, if you're not passionate about, I still do that too, if it's like essential, if it's like necessary that I pass a test or whatever it is, fill in the blank, right? Even if I don't like it. But man, I enjoy it a whole lot more if it's something that I'm already passionate about. So Anyway, the podcast is called Psychological Warfare because I'm essentially myself, stand-up comedian, Army veteran, wrestling / jiu-jitsu practitioner, and it really is just my thoughts and my ideas and my mindset, and maybe even conveying some information that might help you, the listeners. So if you like what you heard, I'm glad. Listen to some other ones. I'm trying to get better with the titles to make it sound more intriguing, because another thing that I learned is your first loss can be your first words, essentially, right? So if I have a better title, it'll be more engaging, and it'll help to so the listener can find out what it's all about. I also have some cool program that does like a artificial intelligence summary of the podcast, so I don't even have to think about what to say. It just generates it, so that's pretty cool too. So it's kind of like it's a worth paid service of like $5 a month. So anyway, y'all have the most beautiful day today, and I hope you succeed in whatever you're trying to do, unless you're going against me. Then I'm going to beat you. Have the best day, guys. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.